Okay, welcome to the Raiders Roundtable. Live here with Seth, uh, Naveed, and Corey,
Yeah.
backhand
Well,
side. And we're going to talk some Raiders. So introduce your guys selves, starting with Seth.
Hi guys, Seth Murphy, founder of BigBoardDraft.com and Raiders writer.
Naveed, Corey.
Uh,
I didn't
yeah, I'll go next. Naveed, I did Razor Roots. I didn't find shit, but yeah, just throw out hot takes.
Oh, that was a bit blurry. And now Corey.
I feel
Yeah,
like a
you're next,
slacker.
Corey.
I feel like a slacker because I haven't found it shit. I just I tweet a lot. That's it.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, we're going to talk this preseason game coming up. We're versing St. Louis Rams in 2 hours or so, something like that. What are you guys most looking forward to for the this preseason game coming up?
Me personally, this is
Yeah.
Corey. The thing that I'm looking forward to the most is the same thing I look forward to all the time. Is to see how the front seven and the offensive line look, because that's going to determine what kind of team we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be tough and shit like that. And if they come out there and they bust people in the mouth, you know what I'm saying, then maybe it's true. But if they come out there and get pushed around, it's going to be the same old shit.
Yeah. And Seth?
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with that. I was gonna say, the watching, the new defense, the new offense starting at the trenches, uh, where we win with, if Gabe can make another good push and Hudson can help make the offensive line something to be a force, and then looking at the defensive line too to see, is Edwards going to fit in? Who's going to, where's Mac going to play? And, stuff like that. Just watching the trenches and that as far as the new schemes go.
Yeah, that will be really interesting to see if Musgrave is going to have a new offense and implicate stuff from Chip Kelly. Yeah. And now you, Truce.
I'll go on a different route. Other than the front seven, I'm looking forward to the skill positions because I'm a believer that you go as far as the quarterback goes, and Derek Carr is a franchise. I want to see how much he's grown and how well he's going to do with the new wide receivers he have. Latavius Murray, Roy Helu in the backfield, Clive Walford. So that's what I'm really looking forward to is the growth of Carr. I think he's a
Well,
key to the Raiders' success.
Well, there definitely is more talent around Carr, so we can all be excited about that. He doesn't have the excuses of last year with Reggie
Right.
giving him a lot more weapons.
Mhm.
I'm looking forward to seeing Mario Edwards. I want to see if he can actually power some guys, and I want to see a lot of improvement in his technique from college because I didn't grade him that highly coming out. And also, obviously, I won't get to see a lot, but anytime Khalil Mack hits the field, I'm pretty happy. That was my guy. You all know I love that guy. I could talk about him on this whole show, but the other thing I want to see is our players' attitudes on the field. I want to see how the defense is playing with the Norton attitude, as that's the saying of our defense now. Get to your spot and arrive with attitude. I love that saying. And I and people say it's preseason and all that kind of stuff, but those players are playing for a job, and I want to see the guys who are competing, going hard and showing it out on the field. Uh, Next, I'll talk about who you guys think will be a breakout player for the Raiders this season. You can choose the obvious ones. You can have a dark horse. It's all up to you. We'll start with you, Corey.
Well, I think I'll go a little bit away from the stuff that I usually do. I won't use my same front seven people that I say, or I won't even use the offensive lineman that I vine all the time. I'm looking forward to Michael Rivera contributing in the offense in a big way this year. I think he will. I know Clyde Walford was brought in to be the man or whatnot, but Rivera's actually at the second half of last season, he actually did really, really well. And I mean, aside from all the other obvious players, that's the one that most excited to see his development.
Yeah, and it will be interesting because it's the third year for tight ends. I think that they break out through the looking. I obviously do fantasy quite a bit, and it's always that third year where tight ends really take off. So it'll be interesting to see if Rivera really does it. And a lot of people put the heat on Rivera, but yeah, you got to give a guy a chance. He's a playmaker at least. Now you, Truce.
I'm gonna go with Michael Crabtree. I know this is a weird option, but I think the last couple of years he got held back by the awful quarterback play from Kaepernick and him not being able to see after the first option. I think Vernon Davis was also held back, so I think Michael Crabtree would finally having some chemistry with Carr. I think he can do some good things in Oakland, especially if he's in good shape and back to 2012 form.
Yeah, definitely. Another fantasy guy I know, Matt Harmon, he talks about Crabtree and how underrated he was. And you actually saw Cat last year struggle when he wasn't with Crabtree. So Crabtree, perfect complement for Cooper, I think. You got underneath routes and all that kind of stuff going to him.
And
Cooper can beat
he
you
thrives
deep.
at that too.
Yeah, and Cooper can beat you deep. People really underestimate Cooper going deep and think, oh yeah, he's just going to get small intermediate. But Cooper can go deep. Cooper can do all of every route you
I'd
want. So
agree. I think Cooper is the best deep threat.
yeah, they all say Holmes and all that, and I don't even know if Holmes makes this team. You see, so
All right.
now your turn, Seth. Breakout player.
I think I'll go with Benson Mayowa, who is a guy that I think could really benefit from the new defense. If he gets a chance to just line up and be a pass rusher, something he didn't really get to do in his Seattle time, and kind of developed with Seattle and with Oakland. I think this might be the year that he gets a chance to step onto the field and maybe show us some of the things that he's flashed before. And I don't really know exactly where they're planning to throw him in on the defense, but hopefully tonight some of those questions will be answered, and I think that he could surprise some people.
Yeah, so do I. I've always been a fan of Mayowa. I was really happy when we picked him up from the Seahawks, especially once in preseason he was just sacking people left, right, and center. Yeah, so my breakout player, as I look at it, I'd say Latavius. He needs to show it obviously, but he's got you put his height, weight, speed into the bloody graphs and all that kind of stuff, and he comes close to Peterson in that way. He doesn't have the vision or the strength or the production for that completely, but you don't see guys his size like I think it was Daniel Jeremiah saying on his show. He was standing next to Latavius, and he's a big man. So and to run as fast as he does, I just feel like if he can stay healthy, stay behind that line, he can have a really good season. Surprise cuts of the season. Who's going to make the 53? Your surprise guy. Start with you again, Corey.
Surprise cut, man. I haven't thought about that, but shit. Bryce Butler.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, I can see that.
What's that?
Yeah, I was thinking Bryce Butler could be one, and Andre Holmes. Our wide receiver core is way deeper now, and I reckon Reggie would rather find his those undrafted free agents, and if he finds ones that he thinks has talent, he'll keep them. And Holmes has been so inconsistent. He can be a world beater one week and then completely trash the next.
Right.
The big surprise cut for me, I think could be Austin Howard, but
Wow.
If
No,
he's playing
I can see that
backup,
too.
if he's playing backup and getting paid that money, I just don't see how you justify it. I don't know the cap hit or the numbers for any of that, but that would
Yeah,
be
I
my
can see that.
surprise. Trist,
That's a big
were you
contract.
going to say Bryce Butler too?
Yeah, I would say Bryce Butler because look, he's entering his third season, hasn't done much. You can say Andre Holmes hasn't either, but Andre Holmes, at least, he's a good deep threat. He can bring down those 50-50 balls in crucial situations. But Bryce Butler, he hasn't done anything at all outside from in production. And you look at last season, receiving groups in the league, and Bryce Butler still couldn't have any production. And so I don't see that boding well for him. I can see the three obvious receivers are Ross Streeter, Amari Cooper, and Michael Crabtree to make over him. I think Andre Holmes and Kimbrell Tompkins makes over him, and Clinton Holiday makes the team over him as a returner. So I can't see
Yeah,
Bryce Butler in the situation.
yeah, good points. Now, you said?
I don't know if it'd really be a surprise to us, but I think to a lot of people, Trent Richardson. I don't know if I see him making the team with, with Murray obviously and Helu are pretty much locks, and then after that you have Trent Richardson fighting for between Dyer and then Taiwan Jones is technically running back again, I guess, and you kind of need what he brings to special teams, so it's gonna be a tough spot there, and I think that the staff might vie for youth over whatever Richardson might bring in.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think they'll run him into the ground tonight, to be honest. They're really going to test how good Richardson is, I reckon, tonight. They're just going to run that boy. And Hello has been out, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with him. But yeah,
Wait, Hilu's out?
Hello, yeah, he's
Uh,
out. He's been out the past 3 practices, I'm sure. So
Wow.
we've covered the breakouts. We've covered the uh, surprise cuts. What do you guys think of this team compared to last year? What do you think are the major differences for yourself?
Well, I don't know if it's legitimate or
Can't go
not,
first.
but the confidence level. Who, me?
Alright,
Yeah, I'll go first.
No,
I
go ahead.
I don't know if it's legitimate or not, but the confidence level at every position for this team seems to be through the roof. So I don't know if that's from the coaching staff or optimism or what. It seems like they know something that we don't know. I mean, obviously we want them to be good because they're fans, but for whatever reason they are convinced that they are better, not just a little better, but much, much better. And I want to see if that attitude translates onto the field.
Yeah, definitely. Truce.
I think the major difference is the run game. I think you see a lot of the teams in the NFL when they have 1,000-yard rushers, they usually are more competitive than the other teams because they're able to control the tempo. And the Raiders last year, before Murray, they're one of the worst running teams that played in recent memory,
So bad.
historically bad to be specific. And so, yeah, they're awful. And with Murray and Helu, for 16 games, if they're both healthy, it's miles ahead in terms of running the ball. And so I think that could really help the Raiders a lot.
Yeah, definitely. How better was Carr when he had that run game going? Um,
Right. 3
if
wins
you're a
against playoff caliber teams.
the best friend for a quarterback is the run game. I don't know why people think it's the tight end or wide receiver. It's the run game. If you have a good run game going, you're helping your quarterback. You're taking
I
that
agree.
stress off his arm. That's why I really believe that the Saints have made their offense more run friendly because they want to limit their pitcher, as you would say, Breeze. So
Right.
you're up next, Seth.
Yeah, I'd expand on that a little bit and say that the biggest change, the biggest difference for me would be that the staff is kind of pushing all the chips to the middle of the table as far as Derek Carr goes, and they're investing, draft picks and cap resources in him, and whether that be protecting him with Hudson and bolstering the running game, and then with the weapons they've given him, Walford and Cooper, and just throwing guys around him to help Carr be successful. And so I'm excited about that because I think that Carr can take advantage of what he's been given. So that's probably what I'm looking forward to most as far as changes go.
Yeah, definitely. For me, it's the attitude and the confidence of the team. It seems like they're competing a lot harder. I don't know, with that whole Dennis Allen, it doesn't have the same vibe that we have this year. I know I've had so much faith in this team years and years, and they've let us down. But I've just got a different feel about this team. I feel like they're ready to smash some people and show up and claim some tags. But I can't. Obviously, injuries will be a big thing for us because I think depth is something we do lack, and that secondary is a big question as well. I'm happy with our front seven. Our O-line will be interested to see Jamarcus Webb at right guard. I'm really interested to see how he does there. He's got positive reviews in camp, but that's all camp say. So it's nothing to put on concrete. But other than that, yeah, I just have a different vibe of this team, and the attitude and confidence seems a lot better. So going into this year, expectations, what do you think Khalil Mack's going to do this year, starting with you, Corey?
I don't know if it's fair to ask me that. You guys know that I'm obsessed with that dude. But definitely double-digit sack Pro Bowl year. I will say that. That's my Raider Truths prediction of the year. I'm going to guarantee that it happens. He will get double-digit sacks. He will go to the Pro Bowl. And he's going to make a lot of noise. The league's on notice now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree. You look at last year, he was dealing with the transition from going from fucking Buffalo to the NFL, and this season he had to deal with that. He has more experience under his belt, added 15 pounds. It's set up for success, and I think he's going to have double-digit success. The first time the Rays have had since 2006.
Seth?
Yeah. I'm going to maybe take it a step farther and say, along with double-digit sacks, maybe an all-pro team, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was a top 10 player as far as like Pro Football Focus and stuff goes too. So.
Yeah, they love that dude.
He's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously you guys know I love Khalil Mack, and I think he could get Defensive Player of the Year if he plays well enough. That's just my homerism on Mack and the Raiders, but the other things I also like the piece they put two man mountains in the middle to free up the edge. Dan Williams and Justin Ellis should do a lot for our team in the middle. I didn't like our DTs last year. Antonio Smith had his flashes, but he was never consistent against the run, and a lot of issues there in the middle. Also, like our linebackers a lot more. It will be interesting, especially with Denver. Their line is completely just a joke at this point, and I really hope Tyson Brello is trying to block Khalil Mack, because that boy has no functional strength when I scouted that dude. So, and obviously how much functional strength Mack has it's known. So I'm really looking forward to him eating this Denver. I want to see Peyton go down and not get back up. But yeah, moving on from Khalil Mack. What do you guys think, Cooper? Do you think the hype is warranted, and what he's going to do this year? Corey?
As far as what Khalil Mack's going to do, I think the hype is well deserved because of how much he improved throughout the year last year. He wasn't just good, but he was 10 times better a player at the end of the year than he was at the beginning of the year. And if he can even improve half as much as he did last year, You know, he's going to be one of those top 10 players, like you said. And with the new defensive-minded coaching staff and hopefully an aggressive scheme, everything should be there for him. He's got help up front. He's got linebacker help. He's got everything so that he's not the one-man show. So he should break out.
And Amari?
Amari?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm scared, man. You know, I'm scared to say anything about wide receivers. I get excited when I see them practicing and in these short videos and stuff like that. I definitely get excited, but I don't make predictions on receivers, man. I don't know that shit.
Fair enough. Tris.
I'll come down on the Cooper expectations for a bit because you look at Chris Carter, the Hall of Famer. He's throwing. Oh, he's gonna have an Odell Beckham type season. I really can't see that happening. But I think he'll fall short of the 1,000-yard mark, but he'll still play very well. I think Musgrave is gonna move him around like he did with Percy Harvin. He's not just gonna limit him to being a possession receiver, just running routes. But in terms of rookie expectations, I can't having that Odell Beckham kind of season, which is fine because only two other rookie wide receivers have ever had, Randy Moss and Odell Beckham. So I think he'll just have 900 yards, about 70 catches, around those numbers. Yeah.
Yeah. Very fair. Steph.
Yeah, I'd probably venture to guess maybe around 800 yards and maybe 4 or 5 touchdowns. I can't see him really having that great of a year. Just historically, rookie receivers struggle so much, and last year kind of spoiled us. I've said it a few times that I think Cooper would have been like my 4th or 5th wide receiver last year if he was in last year's or the class with like Watkins and Evans and yeah, that class. He would have been like my 4th or 5th receiver. So I don't really expect him to have better seasons than Evans or Odell or anything like that. So I would temper my expectations on that a little bit. I think that he will be good down the road, but it's just tough for me to sit here and say he's going to have a season like any of those guys had. So
yeah, obviously I wasn't a big fan of choosing Cooper at the start, but since we've got him, I've obviously come around on that. I was hoping to get Ryan on here so he could throw all the shade because I was throwing some dumb shit out on Cooper just because I was so anti-wide receiver, and I'll admit that. I'll put my hand up, man. I wanted to dream of Vic Beasley and Khalil Mack rushing quarterbacks and just killing people.
I feel you in that.
Yeah, I didn't get that, but I'm very happy to have Cooper now. Yeah, I think he's around that 900 yards, 6 to 6 below touchdowns, and that's good. Like,
right,
that's good. Yeah. You don't need to see a outstanding, like as you said, Seth. Like that season last year does not happen. It was a freak show, and like if Brandon Cooks had been healthy all year, he would have put up crazy numbers too. And I was a big fan of Cooks coming out, so those wide receivers last year were ridiculous. And I agree that Cooper would have been lower down on my list in that receiving class. But yeah, as we just timid down the Cooper expectations, and Red fans, be happy with what he does this year. Don't expect him to be Odell, because that was freaky. Like, as freaky as that catch he made versus Dallas. Like,
but that's not gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
Raider fans aren't gonna calm down. If he's not gonna have 1,000 yards, Raider fans are gonna have a riot.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about this linebacking core. Who do you think are the starters, and who's your favorite besides Khalil Mack to ball out this year? Corey.
My favorite, if he can ever get his ass on the field, is C.O. Moore. I'm a big C.O. Moore fan. He plays with a little bit more strength than people give him credit for. And last year he began to I don't know if he was reading plays faster or just playing faster. He's a good linebacker, and he works
Yeah.
hard, and he plays that role very well. And if he continues to improve, he's definitely my favorite. The only one I'm concerned about is Curtis Lofton. I'm really scared.
Definitely. Truth.
Yeah, I'd say similar the same things. I mean, Steel Moore, I'm a fan of him. I didn't really like him in coverage last year. I thought that's where its biggest flaws are, but definitely good against the run. He's good a motor. And I think Ray Armstrong is going to surprise some people because I think with Mac moving to defensive end most of the time, I don't think they're going to move CO back there because you don't want to change positions 2 years in a row for a young player who hasn't had a full off season. So I think Ray is going to get the start at strong side, and I think he's going to break out. And yeah, Curtis Lofton is someone how I'm worried about because everyone talks about how bad Miles Burris was last year, but what you have to realize is Curtis Lofton was also ranked one of the worst linebackers in the league, so I'm worried about him too.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. Lofton obviously was playing in a 3-4, so he was out of position. Well, he was a natural 4-3 linebacker, so now he's back in a 4-3. So it'll be interesting to see. A lot of his tackles are made behind the line of, past the line of scrimmage. So that's never a good thing, and I think people look too much into those tackle stats. What about you, Seth?
As far as starters go, I'd probably guess that the season starts with Lofton in the middle, and then I don't really know where they're gonna play Khalil, if they're gonna play him at Sam or if they're gonna play him at like Leo and make him as a defensive lineman full time. But I'd probably put him at Sam and then have CO at Will. But I could definitely see something like Ray, and then Lofton and CO or something like that. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of the younger guys like Ben Heaney got a few snaps this season. I think that his struggles can kind of be minimized in this defense. The defensive line kind of keeps the will clean in this scheme, so that's kind of what he needs. He can't really have a body on him because he can't really shed blockers. But if you can get him in space the way that the defense is designed to, I think he could be fairly productive.
Yeah, I totally agree. I also think Mac's going to get a lot of attention, and he's going to free up a lot of those guys. And then you've got Justin Ellis, D. Will, and Tuck there too, so that's going to free some of those guys up. For the linebackers, for me, I really think it's going to be CO at Will, Lofton at Mike, and Mac at Sam for the base. But when it hits nickel, Mac's going to go down as a DE. Ray Armstrong and Malcolm Smith are going to come on, and the other two are going to come off because Ray and Malcolm. I'm pretty sure Malcolm Smith was a safety in college, or he started at safety when he went into USC. And Ray Armstrong obviously was a safety at the U, and their coverage abilities are a lot better than CO's and Lofton's. I've been through my list. Anything you guys want to talk on the Raiders? Some notes, some personal thoughts, etc. Starting with you, Corey.
The things that I look at in the preseason, I always look at the bottom of the roster. Like, I want to see how Max Valles is going to produce, if he's going to produce at all. I want to see if Leon Orr is going to make the team. I want to see if Anthony Morris is going to have some kind of impact. I don't really look so much into the Khalil Macks and Amari Coopers and all that stuff during preseason because those guys are on the team. You're having conversations about those guys wondering if they're making a Pro Bowl. So there's really not a lot of intrigue there. I want to know about, like, who's going to be the surprise guy, who's going to be the breakout guy, who's going to be the one that's like Justin Ellis or Rod Streeter even, or just somebody that came out of nowhere. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, great point, and totally agree with that one. Truce.
I'm sorry, what's the question?
just your personal thoughts on the Raiders, like anything you've got, anything you want to let out, hot takes.
Yeah, one thing is, I should point out that last year, all the teams with an average of 9 wins, won 8 games or more. I think that just shows that how well the Raiders could play if they have their run game going. And we saw that last year too when Latavius Murray came onto the scene, and they ended up winning against 3 playoff caliber teams: the Bills, the Chiefs, and the 49ers. So I think that's the key to the Raiders is a run game.
Definitely, and I think as much as this season depends on Carr, it depends on our run game a lot too.
Right.
Seth?
I would just say, after tonight, I wouldn't panic if I was a Raiders fan. Lots of new players come in, young guys adjusting to the scheme, and it's a good day to get their feet wet and stuff. But it's nothing to freak out over at this point. It's been a long time coming for a refreshing change, and it's going to take a while for everything to kind of solidify and get back to the winning ways of Raider Nation.
Yeah, definitely, and we're all wanting that. It's been a long time since we've had some wins in Oakland.
Mm-hmm.
Well, soon to be LA. But as I end it here, I want to thank you guys for joining me. It's first show. Just give it a go, and I thought we did pretty well. Might be a regular thing if I can sort it all out and have the time. Obviously, I've got my girlfriend away, so I can actually do this easily. But yeah, I'd like to thank you, Corey, Seth, and Truce, Naveed. And any parting statements before we go?
I want to have a hot
Richard,
take, but I don't know.
go for
Corey
it.
first. Corey first.
No. I want to hear what the kid has to say.
Okay.
Shit. I think Michael Crabtree is gonna have 1,200 yards. I'm just throwing that out there because look, there have been reports that he's returning to the 2012 form, and when in 2012, when Kaepernick was the #1 quarterback, he had 86 yards per game and 9 touchdowns in 11 games, and in a 16-game sample, that would be nearly 1,400 yards and 13 touchdowns, which would be one of the best in the league. If he can return to that form, I think he's having 1,200 yards this season. Hot take.
You just gave us a mathematical engineering take on a veteran wide receiver. Is that what you just did?
Yeah, that's what I just did.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
It's good. Stats are so funny because you can engineer them to make you look good, and you can engineer them to make you look bad.
That too.
Oh, Corey's dropped out.
That take was too hot for Corey.
He went to sleep. Seth, you got any parting shots before we go?
I don't know if I can come up with anything that could top that. So I'll just say go Raiders and enjoy the game tonight to everybody.
Okay. Again, I thank you all for joining us. Hope to tune in for more of these. They're really fun, so I hope to do more. Thanks again, guys, and go Raiders. Let's watch this preseason game. Peace.
All right, easy.